Well, we have got Ron and Doris. We have Dennis and Anna, pretty. We've got Mike Mattia and Chris and Blake away in Brighton. And inside Bristol, we've got Shubida, Chinu, and Nazir and Kamini, and Arthur Chapman. So hello, everybody.
Hello, can you hear us okay?
Well, everyone, including our Zoom friends, I'm very glad to see you all here. As you all know, it's a year since Des passed away, and it doesn't seem like it. But we're here today because when he died, he didn't really have a proper funeral. And I felt that he was just pushed out. And whereas after a normal funeral, people gather and they talk about the person who has departed. Can you hear me right there?
Yes.
And I just didn't, at least the three of us didn't like the idea of that. So we thought, right, on the first anniversary, we will ask our friends to celebrate. And it is a celebration. It is a sad celebration, but a happy celebration. Because Des, he lived a full, happy, fulfilled life. He couldn't have squeezed any more into his life. In fact, he left me exhausted sometimes. And for that reason, I want you all to rejoice in his life. And I want you maybe to share any of the things, or funny things that happened, because there were many funny things that happened with Desmond. He was loyal. He was a family man. Always thought of his family. I was telling Tanya today when she was doing her articles near Bristol. Every weekend she might go down the M4 to London, and he would say, "Oh, she's away down that M4. Oh, that there's not much protection in that wee car. I hope she gets back. She really needs a bigger one." Well, he did his best. So we have that. He had a faith, and he lived according to his faith. And that is another comforting thing for me, that he is with his Lord. And that is just fabulous. We're left with a whole lot of questions, like, will we meet again? Will we see? And we don't know these things. But I've known Des since 1962. It's almost 60 years. And so there's a big loss, but there was a lot to fill, and we did a lot of things. So I want you to raise your glass. Philip will propose it. Anybody else is empty? And here's to the folks on Zoom. It's so good of you all to take the time to check in. And Shubida from Houston. And oh, there's my wee Blakey. Blakey's just moved. And my lovely son-in-law. Sun rises and sets on you, Chris, doesn't it? And everybody else. And the folk from Uganda, Pretty and Kamina, Harmony. We've known them since they were 5. So here's to you.
You could have given me some warning. I was supposed to be told. I'll keep it short and sweet, unlike one of Dad's rambling, shaggy dog anecdotes, of which there were many, which you probably heard repeatedly. So I would just say to an amazing man and a great father, husband, brother,
Come on over here now.
Son. Desmond Johnston.
To Desmond.
Or Nimona. Or pneumonia, Ronnie.
Your glass.
Sorry, Ronnie, I didn't, and Georgia didn't mention you in Grimsport. Lovely to see you. And Dennis and Anna.
It's Cirencester. Oh, not anymore, is it?
No, they're moved. They're in Cirencester. Now, to start off the reminiscence. Well, you can come next.
In the meeting of the board.
The short version?
That's Ronnie. Really should be asking Ronnie.
What?
Ronnie was.
Well, the short version is, I believe Ronnie was away somewhere and asked to propose a toast when he was judging the Jury Internationale in yachting, and everybody was asked to propose a toast in their national language, and they came to Ronnie and said, "Do we have a toast in Irish?" He said, "For Demona," and he got away with it. That's about right, isn't it? There we go.
Some of you may know, had a baby boy, and I asked Des to get me a card. And as he went out the door, I said, "Now it's a boy." So when he came back in, he put all the messages out onto it. I said, "I didn't ask you to bring me that."
It sounds great. Seems
I said, "Out the door, you said it." I said, "Why?" I said, "No, why?" So that's that. Always making puns on words. We were one time on CT Americans beside us. And one said, "I'm like a Capuchin." A wee while out, work it out, and Des said,
get one or two words.
"Well, I'm sorry, to this day, that wasn't ever a cappuccino. It was a cappuccino." So, and we have Arthur Chapman with us. Arthur taught, probably is the one who knows the longest. Arthur. We have Elaine, who he taught. And, yes, he loved his people. He loved his see how it goes. So over to you.
So I was going to tell one that he came into my school Friday afternoon, taking and gone home, making a cup of lunch. So he sat me at a roll and he had a green apple. And he began to eat and he says, "Pass me a knife, take a slice of that apple. What do you think of it? Is there any flavour to it?" I said, "No, wait till I get home." But the other one was taken to the German camps on the motorway. And the motorway kept saying, "I'm gang," and we couldn't find it. It means exit.
I'd like to say a few words. I'm Desmond's elder brother, and I've known him all his life. So, Professor Chambers' obituary last night, and I read it again this morning. And it's a wonderful obituary, and he's an inspiration not only to himself but to his pupils as well. I've had a cross word with him in all my life. He was a wonderful man to know. So there you are. I'll raise my glass again.
So, is there anybody on Zoom that would like to share a memory or a message?
Can I say a few words?
Go ahead, Dennis.
Okay. Right. Well, my dear brother Desmond was a very big support to me and a great influence during the many and varied periods of our lives. From his time in Uganda, when he awarded us first prize from the Kampala judges for a photo I took of the Dingle Peninsula. I always remember that. He wrote it on a little slide. Irene might remember that as well. There's a beautiful photograph, and he liked it, and he sent a message all the way back from Uganda. And the time when he was in Luxembourg with the European Commission. When my work moved me into the Middle East, 1981 to 87, he was always there at the end of the phone to talk and discuss things and support me all the way through. And he was always there and always interested in our activities. Really, he's very, very sorely missed by his family and his friends and all who knew him. That's all I can say. He was a lovely man, and I miss him every day.
Thanks, Dennis. Very nice.
And so I drink to him.
Yeah, the Des.
The Des.
Oh, is there anybody else on Zoom? Arthur?
Yeah. Philip, may I?
Yes, go ahead. I don't know whether to call you Chin or Shubida because
I still go by Chinu. Yeah, now. So Desmond was my French teacher in Uganda. I knew him as a child, and he left before I finished my O levels. And we hand wrote letters to each other for over 40 years. Even when he moved from Luxembourg to Northern Ireland, I went to India, I went to England, I came to the United States. We still kept writing to each other. And 4 years ago, he actually made the effort to fly down for my son's wedding. And I had invited a number of my classmates, and so he was able to reunite with a number of his students that he hadn't seen since 1971. And we formed a tight-knit group. He stayed in touch with everybody. And his passing came as a shock, but his being here enriched our lives ever so much. I met Irene in London as well when we had a motorway spy meeting, I called it. And I hadn't seen Dennis since 1971. And when he saw me, he picked me up off the ground and twirled me. That was my teacher. And it was just the most wonderful friendship that we had. It went from being a student-teacher relationship to being a friendship. And Philip has recently been sending me letters, the letters that I wrote to Desmond in 1970 and 71. He kept them all these years, 30, 40, 50 years. And he kept them all, and Philip has been scanning them and sending them to me. So I'm very touched. I'm very happy and blessed that I got to know Desmond, and my life is so much richer for that. Thank you for including me in this.
Can you hear me, Shubida?
I can.
I am so glad that he actually got to Houston to go to that wedding because I wasn't well, but I insisted on him going. Because he had missed all the other reunions, and it was a wonderful time for him, a really wonderful time.
Yeah, he did have a lovely time, and he wore his kitenge shirt from Uganda.
Yeah. So thank you.
Oh, it was totally my pleasure and my blessing.
Anybody else want to speak?
Yes, I would like to speak. Arthur Chapman, are you hearing me?
Yes.
I've known Desmond a very long time. I'm having difficulty getting online. It reminds me of when I was in Portadown College and struggling with the language laboratory machines. And next door, Desmond would come and help to sort things out. Unfortunately, I haven't resourced to him, and therefore I may not be able to come on screen as I should. I've known Desmond a very long time indeed. He was a star pupil at Portadown College, and I always had good fun in class. It was a very lively class when Desmond was there. He was one of the star pupils went on, got first-class honours at Queen's University, and following that, returned to teach in Portadown College. I followed his career with great interest, how he went to Uganda and came back and taught in Portadown College as head of department. I well remember once we were on a family holiday in the south of Germany, and Desmond and Irene came and called with us and invited us, my wife, myself, and 4 children, to go back via Luxembourg. And so we found our way there, and all 6 of us had a couple of days with them on the way to the boat in Le Havre and back to Ireland. I've good memories of him as an inspector. Often those who are teaching are in dread of inspectors. That wasn't the case with me. We always had good fun, and Desmond was a great help indeed in giving ideas and up-to-date experiences about teaching methods. In retirement, it was good to meet with Desmond and Irene on the North Coast. And in fact, I think back to summer of last year, of 2020, when we met up in the Machraboy Hotel and had great time talking about the days of long ago. As I said, we have wonderful memories of Desmond over a very long period of time, and would like to raise a glass to his memory again. Thank you.
Arthur, you're 92, are you not?
One more year.
One more, 93.
Wow.
Yeah.
94 in January.
Raymond is saying that you taught him as well.
I must say, it's very good to see Doris Hutchison here.
Yes.
Hello, Doris. We represented the boarding schools of Northern Ireland at a very busy week in Hong Kong at an education fair. Good to see you, Doris. Bye.
Lovely to see you, Arthur.
Right, just before we cut off now, anybody else want to speak?
Yeah, can I say a few words?
Right,
yeah, I'm Mike here. Desmond and I were together at Queen's. We did single honours German together, and he was the life and soul of the class. We also then spent a whole semester in Freiburg. In fact, we shared a room in a house, and we were really great pals at the time. I knew Irene, of course, as well. I remember the time when Desmond started dating Irene, and how pleased he was, and he was counting. He would say, "That's 34 days now already," and he would keep and obviously it became an awful lot more in the end. We went off to England then afterwards, after graduating, and then subsequently Germany, and I lost touch with Des, unfortunately, and despite various efforts, never really got in touch. And it was only when Philip then wrote to me saying that his father had passed away, and he sent me some photographs from the old times, and subsequently I've met up now with Irene and Philip, and hope to keep in touch over in the future. This is my wife Sandra, who's with me, and we visited Irene fairly recently. So he was a great guy, sadly missed, and my big regret is that we didn't catch up again in more recent times. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, raise a glass to Desmond.
Hello, एक second.
Pretty.
Pretty?
Hi, Irene. I've got Dad on the phone. He wants to say, yeah, he wants to say a couple of words. So just bear with me. Papa.
Hello. Hello, Irene.
Hello, Jonadas. How are you?
Oh, Irene, really, we are missing something. Johnson, he was our best friend, really.
Oh, yes.
I'm always, I remember, you know, and we got some photos, I think. So really, this is really something. On one hand, luckily that we met him already in Ireland, and we enjoyed with him. We came over there, my daughters, and well, but this is the thing. I didn't never know what will happen tomorrow, really. I'm really sorry about this.
Well, lovely to hear you, Jonadas, and to see Pretty. Big, is it Carmely?
No, Pretty and Carmely are both up.
You're both?
Yeah, we're both on.
Right. Well, I remember you were little girls of 8 and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's making me quite upset. It was a lovely person.
Well, yes, you are.
And Dad really misses him a lot. And we're just so glad we got to see him when we came to Ireland.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we have some lovely memories, and Catford. And Philip sent me a lovely video of us guys in Catford. And that was just so amazing. But Dad really misses Desmond a lot. Some wonderful memories going back to the 70s.
Yep.
And whenever you could, you came to Catford, saw us. Were you with us, family, and always will be.
Not such a very nice place.
Wonderful friendship. Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you as well for letting us join today, letting us be part of this celebration to remember Johnston as we knew him, because we called him Johnston rather than Desmond. And when we were expelled from Uganda,
Harmony, we got a letter one day addressed to Mr. Daisy Johnston, Daisy. Some friend, I think Asians as well, because we called him Des, and I think Jamnadas called him Desi. And so Daisy.
And I think the other name was Mazay.
Oh, yes. Oh, well. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So lovely to see you all. I think we continue here then, and you can continue to watch us. Hello, Blake. Are you going to speak to me? You hear all about your papa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you are. Did you show your teacher about the surrender of the U-boats? No, you didn't.
No.
Well, next week I'll be asking you.
Yes.
Lovely to see you.
Right? Anybody else?
Okay, well, Irene, just in case we get pinged.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You can hear me okay?
Yes.
I first met Des, as you know, both of you in 1987 when I became headmistress of Coleraine High School, and Des was the district inspector. And I've known him professionally, and I've known him as a friend. And I was thinking of the words that would best describe Des. Des, first of all, was his smile, his sense of humor. There was always fun when Des was around. His joviality, that was precious. He loved words, his use of language, and the times that we talked together, and Ron and he would be baiting each other with words, and that sense of humor. And of course, professionally, his love of the German language and the way he fought for the survival of German in schools, and he was passionate about that. Enthusiasm. Des was one of the most enthusiastic people I have ever come across, and that was infectious, really infectious. His energy, his vitality. And yes, my heart went out to you many times because I couldn't have kept up with him. I only saw him de temps en temps. But that energy and vitality. But something else which always struck me about him was his passion. And his passion for education and for teaching. And I always think of the times and the wonderful breakfast that we used to have together, and the way we chose our places very carefully where we'd go out for breakfast. And we would enjoy our breakfast, and then inevitably Des and I would start talking about education, about schools. Yes. And Ronnie and you would look at each other, and there was an agreement between the two of you that it was time for us to be pinged. And Irene would take her teaspoon and she would tap the glass, and that was the signal. That was the signal. That was the signal that Des and I had to think about the others. We had to give up talking about education for a while, but he was passionate about education.
Ronnie's looking for his glass.
He's looking for his glass. All I can say, Irene, is a big man in every way.
Yep.
A big heart and a big and wonderful personality, and we miss him. Here's to him.
Right.
What about
Right, folks. Well, we're going to continue here. I think we'll have a cup of coffee now.
Yes. Well, all the best, everybody. Lovely to see you, and thanks for letting us join in.
Right.
Bye.
See you all soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Peter's not.
Well done.
Thanks for joining.
Was it?
Dennis and Anna, it is, yes.
Dennis and Anna.
Hello, Doreen.
Hello.
Lovely to see you after such a long time.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can't really.
There's a lot of background noise. You can't really
Yes,
hear.
we can hear you fine.
You can hear
you fine. You're looking very well, Doreen.
Background, so I can't.
That's looking very well, Doreen.
We zoom each other.
Why don't you?
No, because Diane said, well, you know, no,
Diane could do it
yes,
for
Diane
me.
could set it up.
I'm not into it, so I like the idea.
Well, there you go.
What's the portal? Is that similar to Portal then?
It's just another platform. Yeah,
another
Zoom.
one, yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah. That is a lovely idea. To get people from all over.
You say bye-bye. See you later. Thanks for coming. Okay. Arthur and Pretty, what I'll do is I'll end the call now as well because everybody's dropping out. Lovely for you to join us and be in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.